Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Network. Hard sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.
Happy Sunday evening, unless you're a Packers fan. We got the post-game show here at the All Sports, All Plays Network. I'm your host tonight. My name is Jason J-Dog Thurston. We got my man Chris Brown, my man Freddie, and then some Jay McLovin. How you doing, gentlemen?
I'm good, but why he gotta be called Den Some? Like, change that name to Den Some, man. Come on, man.
Hey,
man,
when you get as
respect
good
on
as
your name.
me, then you may become the sum of my name. Until then, just back off and listen to Aaron Rodgers as he throws another big six, and then you may see the truth for what it really is. And Tom Brady's still the GOAT.
Man, let's go, man.
All right, let's break it down and we'll take it game by game. I think we'll start off with the Bears Panthers. What's your take on that, Chris?
Bears Panthers. Let me pull that up right here. Listen, man. The Bears.
First place. First place, man.
Like, did anybody think they'd be 5-1 right now? Did anybody think? I didn't. I did not have them at 5-1. They've been playing really, really good. Shout out to the guy Nick Foles. You know, he's doing his thing. Buck 98, 23 for 39, a touchdown. That running game isn't there though, so I'm worried about that. Ever since they got rid of Jordan Howard, that running game has been inconsistent. Their wide receiver core, they really only had one wide receiver. So when you have one wide receiver, everybody's keen on him. So they need more weapons. They still have a very good defense. But listen, first in the division, 5-1. I don't know if they're going to win their division. I didn't. You know, don't shake your head, Freddie. Stop. Like, you already starting. I don't know if they're winning their division. They're going to win their division, but right now they're playing hard. They're playing tough. They're looking like a playoff team. So if they maybe can add another weapon towards the deadline or just keep getting better as a team, who knows where this team's going to be. And I will say the Carolina Panthers, 3-3. You know, I know they have some injuries, but they're still looking a little disappointed to me.
What you got, Jay?
Well, Carolina Panthers is looking like what Carolina Panthers is supposed to look like. They just brought on a new coach from college ranks, so he's still getting his feet wet. I know on the surface, Mr. Matt Rule, looks calm as a duck in the water, but underneath the surface, those little feet are just going fast at 90 miles an hour. Trust me, he's still getting them feet wet. So you can't expect that much right now. He's 3-3. His first year out of college ranks. He's got a new quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. And let's be honest, Teddy Bridgewater hasn't had a lot of starting experience. So he's really kind of getting his own rhythm back as well. So we can't expect that much. But they are doing well. They're playing 500 ball, and they pushed Chicago to the edge today. You know, hey, give Chicago their preps, man. Nick Foles, he had a quiet day. He ran one, passed one. But ultimately, you know, hey, it wasn't a bad game, and I think it's actually a testament for where the Panthers are going to go in the future. Oh, and by the way, I really do think that Nick Foles is very underrated, and I think people don't give the Chicago team enough credit.
Yeah, I can see that. How you feel about it, Freddie?
I definitely agree with Chris and Jay McLovin said, but I agree with Jay McLovin that we expected this Carolina Panthers team to struggle. with you don't have Cam Newton no more. You have Teddy Bridgewater, who, by the way, is still a good quarterback in this league. He's one of the best game managers in the game. You see what he did in New Orleans last year while Drew Brees was hurt. He was still able to keep the float. But this team, you still have Christian McCaffrey who's still out, so they're struggling on that end as well. But you're going against the Chicago Bears team with the Nick Foles, and that they might not be the most flashy team, but they make the big plays when the big plays are needed. And he's the type of quarterback if you need a leader and somebody, the receivers and the tight ends to trust. It seems like every situation Nick Foles is getting into is in a good situation. We've seen it with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we're seeing it with the Chicago Bears. Now, like Chris said, we did not expect this team. I know I did it to be 5-1 and be the first number one in the division as well.
Did and you guys know? Did Foles throw any interceptions?
I think he threw one.
Jeez,
Yeah, Foles threw one and Bridgewater threw two.
still game managing, man. I didn't expect the Bears to be there, but I did with Nick Foles, not with Trubisky. So true
I
that.
think we all saw that coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll go on to the second game. We got the Broncos and the Patriots. Freddie, go ahead and speak on that.
Man, you have Drew. You have Drew Lock, who came back from injury today. You had Cam Newton come back from dealing with the COVID-19. This is his first game back as well. And I mean, the score was 18-12. Patriots like to play. They depend on Cam Newton with the running game a lot. And Drew Lock, Nate the Great is feeling real happy today to see his team get a win today because he's a huge Broncos fan. And you can definitely tell that this team was the better team tonight. It wasn't a big scoring game due to the Patriots defense. But I think personally think this Cam's first game back, it could have had an effect on him. Let's pull his numbers up real quick.
All they had an effect on him was that poor passing game.
He played terrible. When you're a professional, COVID missing a game is no excuse. He doesn't have no excuse.
Yeah.
17 for
He
25,
throw 157 yards and 2
QBR.
picks.
19.9 QBR, that's no excuse because he missed a week or two. He doesn't. The team, first of all, is not going to use that excuse. Bill Belichick's not going to use that excuse. The players on offense, and he is not going to use that as an excuse. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. He played terrible. He has to play better. Everybody knows if the Patriots are going to win, it's going to be because of Cam Newton. Now, we saw he did his thing on the running game, but that passing game, he played terrible. I know they need weapons, but a 19.9 QBR is unacceptable. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions is unacceptable. From a guy that's supposed to be a leader, from a guy that's supposed to – he's the reason why this team is going to win or lose. He played bad, and they lost. Point blank period.
And like Chris said,
Touché.
this was a quote from Cam Newton after the game. I have to be better, just like what Chris said.
Yeah, what you think, Jay?
What do I think? I think the man got exposed for what he is. He's a running quarterback. You don't pass for crap. I can't say the other word. He just don't pass. He's a running quarterback, and Denver's there's a good defense, and they exposed him. That's what it was. It ain't no freaking COVID. The man's had the same problem his whole dang life. He's a great running quarterback, terrible at throwing the ball, and 2 picks and a 19 QBR just basically backs up what I just said. The man struggles throwing the ball.
Did he throw a touchdown today?
Nah, 0 touchdowns.
He threw 2 picks.
So that means for this season, he's got just under 900 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. That is not leading a team. No way, no how. Well, I picked Belichick. I thought Belichick would get the best of Denver, but when your quarterback plays like that,
no shot.
Even Belichick can't do nothing about that. Next game we got. Let's see. We got. Oh no, not my Washington football team. I'll go ahead, Mr. Giants fan up there. Freddie.
Whoa. He is not a Giants fan. He said, and I quote, I am not rooting for the Giants this year. I've given up on the season. I'm a Packers fan. So don't
We've
call him a
already
Giants fan.
established that he's a New York Packer.
Yeah, he's a
All
New York
right.
Packer. He's no Giants fan. Don't
Ladies and
give him
gentlemen,
that
New York
satisfaction.
Packer.
ladies and gentlemen, I might have put my Giants down for the year.
Freddie wears a reverse jersey. One side New York, the other side.
Green Bay.
That don't mean I still don't root for him. It's about time they won a game. I thought they was going 0-16. We showed that we're still the better team in New York, by the way. I was afraid that the Jets have more wins than us. And then Daniel Jones made big plays when he needed to. I believe he still threw the interception or two.
Wait a minute. He didn't make no big plays. The man only threw for 112 yards and a touch and a pick.
What big plays did he make?
When he needed to,
Where you see these big plays?
you didn't see the play that Darius Slater for like 23 yards. That's a big play when we needed him, man. I mean, we're going through against two teams, Washington football team, two rebuilding teams, and clearly they probably don't know who either team don't know who their quarterback is. So I mean, my Giants are done. The Washington's done. So I mean,
Yeah.
but really talk about them much.
I mean, honestly, Cam's stats and Daniel Jones' stats almost look the same.
Yeah, pretty
Hey,
solid.
you know,
Both ran for 70-something yards, and they both threw for barely over 100. And both
Kyle
of them
Allen had
picks.
better stats than them.
But Daniel
Kyle Allen did.
He did. He had better stats than Cam and Danny Jones with the L.
who did?
Oh,
Kyle
don't
Allen,
get me
what-
Giants.
what's
We're
their
talking about
football?
the Giants right now. It's because Rivera couldn't kick a dang field goal and force an overtime,
Man,
Freddie.
yeah.
That's the only reason you up here, even halfway sporting that reverse-style jersey of yours.
Yeah, like
I'm
Go
mad.
ahead, Chris.
I'm
Go
just
ahead,
happy
Chris.
to get one, man.
I mean, it was an interesting game. I don't know why he didn't just kick the extra point going over to overtime. Like, your offense wasn't playing the best, but they weren't playing that bad. Kyle Allen had a decent game. I know that running game was very, very bad. Less than 90
Yeah.
yards on the ground with multiple running backs. So, I mean, it was just a game, NFC type of game, NFC East type of game. You know it's going to be close. You know both teams are going to battle. Washington ended up losing. New York ended up winning. It is what it is.
I got to disagree with you in your first statement when you said it was an interesting game because it was not at all. It was horrible to watch. But go ahead, Jay. You got anything else to put on the Redskins game? I'm sorry, on the Washington football team.
It's the Washington football game. Case closed. Let's move on to the next topic.
Hold on, let me just say my 2 cents since that's my team.
No, you done said your 2 cents. It's Washington football team. Next topic.
Go ahead, Freddie. Let's see. We'll go to the next game. Oh man, here go the Dolphins. Dolphins and the Jets. Tua got his first little taste of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
I give him.
20-0.
I give him. Did you see the picture after the game? They had
Yeah.
him sitting there at like the 15, 20-yard line,
Mhm.
just soaking it in. That was pretty cool to see, especially off the injury he took. And
They
making
said
it
he
this
wouldn't be
far.
able to play no more.
Yeah, touche, man. Big ups to him. Big ups to him. We'll go start up top with you, Jay. What you think about Fitzmagic?
I mean, Fitzmagic is Fitzmagic. The guy, he still commands a good game. He didn't do bad today. He had what, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, touching right at about 2. That's typical Fitzmagic, man. He did it when he was in Buffalo. He did it with Houston. He had it. It wasn't a flashy game, but it wasn't a bad game. He basically does what he always does. He keeps you in the hunt. He ain't gonna get you the Super Bowl. He ain't gonna put you in last place, but he'll get you a good, in the hunt. 10-3, 9-9 record, 9-7 record, whatever. But it was just a typical Fitzmagic game, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Freddie? What you think? I mean, look who we're playing against, though.
Yeah, I mean the Jets. Jets are just awful. You let Le'Veon Bell. You sign Le'Veon Bell to that big contract. He don't play much. He don't productive much. He don't want to be there. They have a coach that says he don't want you there. So you can already tell how bad that organization is. The coach don't deserve the job. The Jets are awful. You played against the Dolphins. But Fitzpatrick, our guest, Jay McLaughlin and then some is not Fitzpatrick. I know you can look by the beard. That's not him. But the last couple of places that the dude's been in, the dude is good. He's still a good backup quarterback in this game. It was good to see Tua play some tonight. Today it was actually a good, feeling good look to see because like Chris touched on, people odds he was not supposed to be where he's at today. So that's why I took away from the game is how awful the Jets organization is.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all expected the Dolphins to win this game and dominate this game. But honestly, I forgot Joe Flacco was in the NFL. I feel like I haven't seen Joe Flacco in a while. But, man, when I look at the Jets, I just hope Sam Darnold gets out of there. I don't want him to re-sign no contracts. I want him to leave, walk away immediately because this dude is far too talented to be on this New York Jets team. Honestly, I know Cleveland is sitting back looking like, man, why don't we just draft Sam Darnold? You put Sam Darnold on the Browns right now, they're going. You're not going to have no mistakes like Baker Mayfield's having mistakes. You're not going to have no issues how Baker Mayfield is having issues. Sam Darnold is a legit quarterback. He just has no talent. The only talented wide receiver he had last year, he's in Carolina right now. The offensive line's in shambles. You got Frank Gore, OG Frank Gore. You know he's going to run the ball. He's going to do his thing. But, like, who do they really have on their team, offensive-wise and defensive-wise? Jamal Adams not there. C.J. Mosley opted out. You got Avery Williamson. You got some young guys, but this team is struggling, and I don't want to see Sam Darnold waste his career on a team that's not going to put their foot forward, on our organization that's not. It feels like set on winning and does winning, organization steps, drafting the right people, signing the right people, trading for the right people. So when I watch the Jets play, I just feel for Sam Darnold every game.
Yeah. We'll move right along. We'll slide into the next game. We got Niners and the Rams. Oh, before we go there, let's go to that slobber knocker. Let's talk about. I used to love when I grew up. When they had the Battle of the Bays with Warren Sapp against Brett Favre, and some good games back then, man. But not today. I mean, it was a good game, but it was one-sided good game.
Yeah,
man. Oh my goodness.
What you got, Chris? Go ahead, speak your mind.
Funny, man. What you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you because your Packers lost, you think you're a Giants fan now. Now listen, I think we all expected a great game. I honestly thought this was going to be one of the best games. When it started out 10-0, I said, okay, I know Tampa Bay is going to make a comeback, but Green Bay is still going to be in this. Second quarter, Tampa Bay won 28-0. I said, oh, hold on, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Now, when I look at Tampa Bay, I know their offense is having injuries. I know they got running backs banged up, wide receivers, tight end banged up. But I knew their defense was legit. Like, I thought they would have a top 10 defense this year. They had 5 sacks today. I know that's light work for them and 2 interceptions. I know that's light work for them. But I wanted to see how this offense would adjust with all these new pieces, with a new quarterback. Rob Gronkowski, I think he had his best game so far this year. 78 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 receptions. Chris Godwin gave you 48 yards. And then Ronald Jones, I think with Leonard Fournette, with Ronald Jones, they have a legitimate 1-2 combo. Ronald Jones gave you 113 yards on the ground. Then you look at Tom Terrific, 17 for 27, 166, 2 touchdowns, 96.1 QBR. They did their thing. Green Bay folded. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game. 16 for 35, 160, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times, 17.8 QBR. He played terrible. That offense played terrible. The offensive line was nowhere to be found. The defense was nowhere to be found. This was a team that a lot of people had at the number 1 rankings. They had them saying this is the best team in the NFL. And they got punched in the mouth. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers punched them in the mouth. And now a lot of people are having questions about this team because, listen, they put the great defense on them. You got the GOAT in everybody's eyes. Tom Brady doing his thing. They got punched in their mouth. And Green Bay Packers right now, they're looking vulnerable.
What you think, Jay? We'll let Freddie cool off for a minute before his rebuttal. Man, we'll let you speak on it.
Freddie always talking this crap about a bad man.
Bad man.
Let me tell you something. The man stuck up the joint. It's smelly, like bad tuna fish. That's what he is. Aaron Rodgers is just a case of bad tuna fish. And he got put in for what he really is. A subpar, old-ass quarterback that needs to be put out to pasture. Tom Brady is not. The GOAT he never was. He is what he is. He's washed up, has been, put him to pasture. You can't even cut him. That's how horrible he is. You didn't take him out there and put him out of his misery like you would an old-ass horse and send him to the glue factory. Because the man stunk. Incredibly.
Go ahead, Freddie.
The man threw a pick six, then followed up with another pick. Hell, man, the quarterbacks turned into wide receivers.
The second one wasn't his fault, though. I give him that.
Shut your mouth. Out of your hand, and you put it anywhere there, it's your fault.
Are you done?
Excuses. He stank up the joint. Freddie, because of you and because of him, I had to have air fresheners all around my TV.
Are you done now?
I think he's done.
Well, you know what? Aaron Rodgers was done about 4 or 5 hours ago.
If I'm not mistaken, he sat him on the bench, too. At the
All right, it's my turn. He's a bad man, but he wasn't that bad man today. I mean, Aaron Rodgers definitely got to be better, and everybody here agree with that. If he don't play good, this Green Bay Packers team do not move. He was 16 for 35. That's awful. 160 yards. Come on, Aaron Rodgers, you better than that, man. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Really? Come on, man. You're much better than that. And then your leading rusher was Jamal Williams. He had 4 carries for 34 yards. Team is on the 2 running backs, and they have if their running game's not going. You expect Aaron Rodgers to get it going, but neither one of them could get going. Your leading receiver was Devontae Adams with 6 receptions for 61 yards. I mean, these numbers are not lying. You have to be better. But you do have to give credit to that Tampa Bay defense. That defense got punched in the mouth early. They responded, and the Green Bay Packers could not recover from it. It seemed like after those 2 interceptions, it seemed like the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers did not look the same. They was not comfortable. They was timid. Every time they hiked the ball, this seemed like the one play where Aaron Rodgers was like a delayed game. I think he was afraid to hike the ball because they was too much. They was pressuring him too much. They was right there on him. That offensive line needs to step up. The shorts that while they're the best, one of the best in the game, they was a no-show. I agree, but Aaron Rodgers have to be better.
I need a 10-second rebuttal. No, Freddie. Freddie, what you need to do is call Tom Brady, send him a postcard, send him some flowers, and give him his respect with a K, not a T.
I agree. I don't think
his respect.
I agree, but I don't think Tom Brady was the reason why we lost his game. I think it was because of that Tampa Bay.
Because your boy Aaron Rodgers stuck up the joint like bad.
No.
But
you know what though?
You need to give Tom Brady his respect.
I don't mean to cut anybody off, but we got to update. The LA Dodgers are going on to the World Series. Are you a Dodgers fan now, Freddie? Like
I'm LA, baby. I was born in California. Anything LA.
Then why do you root for the Giants and the Packers if you're anything LA?
Because I'm a Giants fan because I've always liked Eli Manning. Okay, and
you don't got to explain it no more. You don't got to explain it no more. You started off bad. Can we just move on? You just started off so bad.
He just confused.
Now we saw it last week. We saw Josh Allen get punched in the mouth. We saw Patrick Mahomes get punched in the mouth by the Raiders. Mm-hmm. We saw Tom Brady get punched in the mouth by his own self, making mistakes last week. I think Aaron Rodgers, man, he's gonna brush it off. They're still a good team. They're still legit.
Yeah.
I mean, every look at Lamar. He took an L against the Chiefs. He played bad that game. It happens. I mean, you just gotta live and learn. And I mean, we'll see. But they definitely got thrashed today, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not on there, but can we talk about the Browns and the Steelers game?
Oh yes, let's do that for sure, man. Because I know earlier on the pregame show, Nate mess around. They both had Cleveland winning that game, and I told them they were nuts.
Yeah, the Browns, the Pittsburgh won 38-7, man.
7. Go ahead, speak on it, Freddie.
Man, to me, I think it's embarrassment when you have a conference game. You're in the same division, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And, you're Cleveland. In the last couple of weeks, you trended in the right direction. You blew out Dallas. You're winning. You have a winning record. You're over above 500. It don't happen a lot. You have Baker Mayfield. Even though I know he had a little rib injury on last week, but I think you definitely have to be better than that. I mean, Chris mentioned it earlier in the show where you have a Sam Darnold in the Jets. Over at the Jets. If I'm Cleveland, like I said, you pass up on him. You passed up on Lamar. I mean, you starting to have second thoughts about you now. Is this dude legit? This dude went 10 for 18, 119 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. That's not going to get it done. Kareem Hunt, 13 carries, 40 yards. Austin Hooper was the leading receiver for 5 receptions, 52 yards. But guess what? But then again, you are going against the Pittsburgh Steelers team with an elite defense you're not going to run on them. Their best bet is to throw the ball. And they won't, and trust me, they want Baker Mayfield to throw the ball because they will not win by him throwing it 30 to 40 times. So definitely, you definitely, and Big Ben, man, Big Ben's been looking good all season this year. The dude come back from an elbow injury and he's been throwing bullets. He's looking like Big Ben of old. Honestly, that team might be the team to beat in that division. So it's a total embarrassment by the Cleveland Browns. I believe Case Keenum had to get started in the third quarter. That's how much of an embarrassment it was. So
Go ahead.
hopefully they can bounce back from that. And even Odell's looking like Odell. He's with my Giants, all pissed off again. So, yeah.
What's up, Jay? What do you think of that shellacking as well?
Well, honestly, the Browns, they're not an exceptionally good team. They just play exceptionally bad teams to get where they are currently. You saw what you saw. They went up against an undefeated team in the Steelers, and they got their butts handed to them. Baker Mayfield, they turned the ball over, obviously, with 2 picks. They had a subpar running game, and, Pittsburgh did what Pittsburgh does, and they won the game. It's just that simple. They are who they are.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's true. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah. When I look at Cleveland, they've been scoring some points, but they're probably giving up the same amount of points they're scoring. So they really haven't been a great team. Yes, they've been able to run the ball, get some points on the board, but their defense has been lackluster. You look at the day, they allow almost 130 rushing yards to honestly only James Conner. And then they couldn't run the ball themselves when they had the best running game, so far this year. And I understand that Chubb is out, but they're still supposed to have that same type of production. So, you would think with a number 1 overall pick, when the running game isn't there, with all the weapons they have, because they have a ton of weapons, you would think, okay, my number 1 pick is going to be able to make plays. Wrong. Baker Mayfield has shown, and I think this game might be one of those last straws where it's like, okay, we got to find a way to get a new quarterback because this guy is not it for the future. He might mess up the whole little thing they got going on. Because I like a little bit of their defense. I love the weapons, but Baker Mayfield isn't it. And just to address something Freddie said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not the favorite to win this division. I understand they're playing good right now, but they still got a lot of questions in their game. And you said Big Ben, he's looking like the old Big Ben. He's not. Big Ben is playing very, very good, but the old Big Ben was a gunslinger. He was a chucker. Big Ben's not doing it this year. He's just taking his shots. He's playing great. Don't get me wrong. Big Ben is doing his thing, but I'm saying he's not the old gunslinger Big Ben used to be. He's leading them to victories, which is great. They're winning. Nobody, it doesn't matter when you're winning. I'm just saying he's not the old gunslinger, and I still think the Ravens are the favorite to win this division.
Yeah, I saw a stat earlier that said, the record is 72 sacks by a team, and that was the 84 Bears. And the Steelers are on pace to get 80 sacks this year. But I don't know if that's possible now because they're talking about Devin White could be a torn ACL.
Yeah, I heard he's out for the year.
and he's a big part of that defense. Even though he's second-year guy, man, he was lighting it up last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost a big key right there. I mean, James Conner, he did his thing. He was running all over him. But yeah, I mean, come on, man, your middle linebacker, man.
They still got those pass rushers though, Bud Dupree and J.J. Watt. I mean, I'm sorry, J.J. Watt. But yeah, White, Bush. I thought was it Bush or is White? I thought it was Bush.
I'm sorry, it's Bush. I'm thinking of White from
yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Either way, though, they're both good young linebackers, and he's been a very, very integral piece into their success on the defensive end. I think trading for Minka, he's a big part of that defense, and I feel like they're not going to lose that much having Minka right there being that roaming guy. Not saying he's Troy Polamalu, but that's kind of the position he's playing for the team.
Right. Yeah, man, that's true. And we'll get down to the last game of the night, which was I think it was a huge upset. But then again, if you want to call it an upset, you can call it an upset. But when you have Kittle back and you got Debo back and you got Garoppolo back, I mean, they took it to him, man. They took it to him. What you think about that, Chris?
I mean, yeah, I thought the Rams were going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. I know the 49ers are a great head coach team. I know they have a very good defense. I know they have a very good running game. And with Debo coming back, that's another weapon Jimmy Garoppolo needs. You had George Kittle. You had their rookie, Brandon. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm not going to butcher it like that. But they had this Ayuk. They had some good weapons out there. But getting Debo was a big thing. One takeaway that I took away from this game, there were no sacks. No quarterback was sacked this game. And you think,
wow.
when you look at the 49ers, they're some of their best pass rushers. They're not, you have the Bosa is not here. You have the Solomon Thomas, but where's Kinlaw? Their first round draft pick. The reason why they traded it for is Buckner. Where's Armstead? Where he's at? You look at the Rams. Where's Aaron Donald? Where's all these other pass rushers they have? There were no sacks. So I feel like, that's just the key stat when I'm looking at. I don't expect a divisional game for there to be no sacks. But the 49ers have a very good offensive line. The Rams offensive line, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. They get the job done. I feel like the Rams, they played a disappointing game. I know the wide receivers for the Rams dropped a lot of passes, but Jared Goff still threw 19 for 38, 198, 2 touchdowns, interceptions. Like I said, there were a lot of drops. The leading reception guy was 3, Tyler Higbee. You look at the targets versus receptions ratio. Robert Woods had like 2 or 3 drops in the fourth quarter, 10 targets and only 4 catches. He dropped some big plays. So, like, when I look at this Rams team, they have the system, They have the system. They're only going to run about 10 to 12 plays, and they got a whole bunch of different counters to all the plays. The running game is always going to be there. They got a guy named Darrell Henderson Jr. A lot of people haven't heard of him. Well, he ran for 88 yards on 14 carries. But then wide receivers have to step up. I think, they get a dominant wide receiver, and they're only going to take off. So, yeah, it was a very, very good game. Lost the bet, on the Rams. They lost me the bet, but it is what it is. Great game, great division game. And I think the 49ers are making the case that, hey, they might still be able to win, make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, what's up, Jay? Did you happen to catch that game?
Yeah, I caught it for the most part. It is what it was, right? Garoppolo came to play, and the Rams defense didn't. Garoppolo threw for 3 touchdowns, 268. And Darnold, like Chris pointed out, had no sacks, and he was double teamed, and offensive line for San Fran just did a good job containing him. And when he has time to throw, and he's got some pretty decent weapons to throw too. And Kittle, like I said, Kittle went off for a massive day today, and they ran the ball somewhat decently. But at the end of the day, man, the Rams just didn't come to play, and the 49ers did, and that's what happened, and that's what we got.
Freddie?
Yeah, just like they said, that I thought this was a must-win for the Rams as well. But that defense, you need to step up, and Aaron Donald, you need to be the leader of that defense and step up and make plays when plays need to be made. And that just did not happen tonight. And the Rams need to be much better, especially on these must-win games. And like I said, I thought it was a must-win game to keep the 49ers down. But you give a team like this momentum, and then they can get back into swing of things.
Yeah, you know that in the beginning of the season, man, that NFC West was no joke, and I think we saw the 49ers team that started the season after all those injuries. I mean, besides Sherman and a couple other that and Bosa that are done for the season, but man, if they put a killing hurting like that on the Rams, there's no telling who's going to come out that division.
Yes, sir.
So we got a Monday game at 4:30 in the afternoon. Can you guys believe that?
Oh, man.
That's not Dallas. Who has the early game?
I think
That's
it's
Kansas City.
Buffalo,
Kansas,
yeah.
right. Buffalo, Kansas City has the early game. Okay.
Yeah.
At 4:30, man. I'm gonna have to hurry home, man.
I'll be at work.
Not me.
Which-
I'm retired. I'm gonna sit back. I'll have a beer in my hand. I'm just gonna chillax and watch the game.
So, before we end the show, I want to definitely encourage all our fans, the viewers, to tune into Zamar's special show. We have a special guest. He's worked for ESPN. He's worked as a radio host at ESPN. His name is Jeremy Greeny. Definitely can't wait to chat sports with him tomorrow. And on Tuesday, All Sports All Plays Network's doing a special collaboration with the Hot Sauce Sports Network. So definitely can't wait for that, and man, because we're going. Hey, I know what this network when us three get on here, we bring the heat. So hopefully, when they join on here, they're not afraid to join.
True that. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys. As always. My name is Jay the Dog. You guys have a great night. Have 2 games tomorrow. Enjoy it. This is a post-game show from the All Sports All Play Networks. You guys have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Hey, Jay McLevin, next time we have a show, make sure you have that dim sum off the screen, sir.
Oh no! When Jay goes on, you get Jay McLovin and then some.
All right, but yeah, thank you.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.